Alright, there we go. Hi guys, and welcome to the first video in the dungeon series that we're going to be doing. So, basically what I did, if you've seen my previous video, what I'm going to be doing here for this series is there are 16 dungeons we're going to be playing in Guild Wars, and I'm giving all of you the opportunity to play alongside me. Basically every single weekend at 6 o'clock GMT, you can come here to the Doomlore Shrine if you wish, and you'll find me here, and you'll have an opportunity to come and be in the video and run through a dungeon together, which should be pretty fun. The first dungeon we're going to be doing, basically as we clear through this series, you remember the Hero's Handbook we got as we were playing through Eye of the North? Well, there's another book called the Master Dungeon Guide book, and essentially we're going to be just working our way through this book. So today we're going to be doing the first dungeon, which is the Catacombs of Kathandrax, and tomorrow we'll continue on with the next, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, always got an opportunity, guys. Always just come here to the Doomlore Shrine. I've changed it up slightly from what I originally said we were going to do to actually get in the videos, but I realised it was going to be a massive hassle if I'd have to individually contact everyone. So instead, it's just a free-for-all. If you come here, then you could be in the video. So we've got our team here, and hopefully this will all go well. So these are all you guys who came out to come see me. I've been chatting with you for a while. It's been pretty awesome. It's just so cool to actually be in here. So when we actually get in the dungeon, I'll be able to talk to you plenty, and we should have a lot of fun. So yeah, basically what we're going to do to start off with this mission is we're going to be coming over here, and I wonder if everyone will end up following me or they'll just see me slip off. Brilliant. So we'll come over here and speak to Gron Fierceclaw. And you remember this other quest that this guy had for us? At least I think this is where you get this. I think it's the Veiled Threat. No, that's Rhaegar's Menagerie. How do we get Catacombs of the Kathandrax? I think it's Temple of the Damned, is it? No, that's when you go back to the Cathedral of Flames. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so what we need to do is actually walk outside the dungeon to be able to get the quest. So what I'm going to do is run through here, and when we get outside the dungeon, it's in the Burning Forest, if you remember that, where the Titans were. So we'll do that, and I'll see you guys in a second when we're at the guy and we can read the dialogue and find out what the story is here. So yeah, it was brilliant for all you guys to come out here, and we'll continue on with the dungeon and see some cool lore, and we'll listen to some cool blog posts and stuff. So yeah, let's get moving. Let's go out into the Dalada Upland. So I know we finished Eye of the North, but it's actually kind of cool because we still get to run around these areas and see a lot more of them. So let's go on out. Okay, I think everyone wants to wave. It's ridiculous. I've got a kebab here as well. I'm like in the middle of eating dinner while I'm filming this episode. Fantastic. There we go. /wave. Awesome. Alright, so let's go. Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming out, guys. Let's go out into the dungeon. Alright, so here we are. We're back in the Flame Forest, as you just saw us running down here. And in this corner of the forest here, if we press U, you'll see right down here in this corner, there's actually a portal to a place called the Catacombs of Kathandrax. And remember when I was doing the coverage of this place, and I was talking about all this fire that maybe the Titans had wreaked upon the place? I have actually been thinking about that since I said that, and I've been wondering if maybe the fires are here, not just because of the Titans, but also maybe the fires are here because of what we're about to find inside these catacombs, which could be quite interesting. Anyway, out here we do see there are some Eben Vanguard. This guy, Swithin Nye, and I recognise his name, but I'm not 100% sure where from. But anyway, we can speak to him. And he says, I was sent here with my company by Captain Langmar. It was our mission to recover Kathandrax's Crusher, a great dwarven weapon. On our way to the caves, we were ambushed by an overwhelming Char force. Their numbers were many and we suffered great losses. I should have died in battle with the others, but Captain Langmar made it clear that recovering the weapon was more important than anything. When all hope of victory was lost, I retreated with the few fighters left standing. To bolster our remaining forces, I sent 2 men to summon the reinforcements. They have not returned. The caves are infested with fire elementals and other terrible creatures. Our numbers are few. We no longer have the strength to reach the weapon. If you would take up arms and retrieve it, we will compensate you justly. It's really weird the plot of this one about this hammer that you get, like this dwarven... Well, no, it doesn't call it a hammer, is it? It's a crusher, really. But another legendary dwarven weapon deep in the depths of the earth. Very similar to what we did in the main storyline. But anyway, I will not let your hopes be crushed. I'm in. So we're going to go in and see what happens in here. This is actually a really cool dungeon. I like how it's the first one.
I'm afraid
the ranger doesn't say anything to us in particular though. So is everyone ready? Alright, that looks like a yes to me. Alright, let's get going. Sadly, the siege devourer we've got won't come with us, which is a shame. But here we go. So in we go to the dungeon. The Catacombs of Kathandrax. It's a pretty awesome place. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have probably been wondering, and to be honest, I've been wondering as well, how exactly this dungeon series is going to work. Basically, this is what I'm hoping to happen with the dungeons. As we know, we've got 16 dungeons to go through, and because I'll be playing them with you guys, like you can imagine if I was doing live commentary, I just wouldn't be able to sit there typing to you guys at all, and it would just be a little bit boring. So basically, how this is going to be working is I'll be doing the runs with you guys, and then I'll come back and do the commentary for the dungeons afterwards. The thing with the dungeons though is, as I've said millions of times, I've said it so many times, I've said it millions of times now, the dungeons just reuse a lot of assets, and what this basically means is, yes, every dungeon is unique, everyone has a different length, a lot of them have different enemies in them, but at the end of the day there's not that much to talk about with what's going on in the dungeons except for just what you can see. So essentially what will be happening is I'm going to read out why we're going into the dungeon. As we've seen, I'll read out the quest text at the start, and then as we finish the dungeon and take on the boss, I'll be talking about that as we do it. But generally for all this stuff in the middle, we're going to be talking about different stuff. I've mentioned a lot of times in the Let's Plays these blog posts. In fact, as I've been Let's Playing, more and more have been coming out. We're very heavily story focused with the Let's Play, and one thing that's always kind of annoyed me, well, not annoyed me, it's just been something we've had to deal with, is the fact that Guild Wars 1 only has so much lore in it. And while I've been doing the Let's Play, ArenaNet on their blog have been saying outside of the game, releasing all these amazing articles about all these fantastic new races and things that are going on in the world of Guild Wars 2 in 250 years time, and I've not had an avenue for teaching you guys or showing you these blog posts. I mean, I can link to them, but I get the feeling most people don't give a crap about reading them through. So basically I'm going to use this dungeon series as, what we're going to do is while we're watching the dungeon in the front, and you know, feel free to pause it and see all the ridiculous crap that happens and what we're talking about, and as we go through the dungeons I'll be speaking to collectors and stuff, so if you guys want you can pause it. I think there's an Asura we meet in this dungeon who talks about Gad and all kinds of stuff, so you can still see everything that happens on the dungeon, but we'll also be talking about these blog posts. We'll read them out and we'll discuss what's going on with them, because I feel a bit cheap just like reading out the blog posts. I mean, that doesn't really add any content to them, so we'll read out the blog posts as they came out in time. So the first real lore blog post that was ever released for Guild Wars was one about a new race of creatures that you don't even see in Guild Wars 1 called the Kodan. All of the blog posts, like I said, they're really quite long, so basically these episodes, the dungeon episodes, they're still going to be about 20 minutes long each, but because these blog posts are so long, I reckon it will probably be like, we'll be talking about the Kodan for the next 2 videos, over the next 2 dungeons, and then we'll move on to the next blog post, and so on and so forth. And this is my plan anyway. Let me know what you think, because I wasn't quite sure how to tackle this series. It was basically either do live commentary the whole time and completely ignore everyone in game, which would just suck ass for you guys actually playing with me, and I wouldn't be able to talk to you. Like, look at this, we just absolutely get destroyed by the worm. There are so many hilarious things that happened on this run, it was so funny. But yeah, so we decided to wipe there. But yeah, so basically it would be me completely ignoring you, or trying to do live commentary and typing at the same time, which would just be crap for everyone who can't come, which at the end of the day is the majority of you. So I really think that this might be the best way, so do let me know what you think. Obviously I've gone through all this preamble on this video, so we probably won't get that much information about the Kodan out, but you know, it's going to be a few videos. It's going to be at least 16, one for every single dungeon, so we should have plenty of time to talk about the stuff I want to. I mean, there are a lot of blog posts. I'm wondering if we'll even get through all of them. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, let's actually learn something about the Kodan. So I've talked about them a tiny little bit while we were in Eye of the North, but this is really where we were introduced to them. On the first trailer for Guild Wars 2, we saw a weird polar bear man. We weren't sure if it was a Norn that could turn into a polar bear rather than just normal bears. We didn't quite know what was going on, and then eventually, on the 11th of January 2011, Eric Flanham posted something on the ArenaNet blog called The Wisdom and Power of the Kodan. So let's get a bit of an introduction to these guys for this video. They first appeared in the world as rumour, as legends. Travellers told tales of ships made of ice and bedecked with sails glimpsed among the fjords. Then Norn hunters returned with more stories of white-furred bear men, unlike those Norn blessed by bear, who possessed great power but who were also filled with great fear. They were fleeing the north, the land of the elder ice dragon Jormag. They were creatures of wisdom and judgment, weighing the races of Tyria and finding them wanting. They were the Kodan. The Kodan are intelligent, 10-foot tall, bipedal, polar bear-like beings from the distant north. Culturally, they have strong beliefs in the importance of being in balance with the world around them, but this does not mean they are pacifists. Taking a cue from the natural world, they see hunting and killing as a normal part of life. What is most important is that an individual's actions are in balance with nature. Originally from beyond the northern Shiver Peaks, the Kodan tribes inhabit floating iceberg fortresses called sanctuaries. One per tribe, they live and travel upon these mighty ice peaks, building entire cities within their shelter. Alright, okay, so there's a little bit of an introduction. These guys are really cool, I really do like them. So they've got another paragraph here on the beliefs of the Kodan. So, long ago, Koda, the Ancient One, founder of the earth, keeper of the sky, formed the world. In the beginning, the spirits of the world were wild and untamed. In time, many took physical form. Spirits of stone, spirits of water, spirits of wind, spirits of soil, spirits of plants and birds and creeping things. All things with form have spirits, as do many formless things. So, like, the Kodan's beliefs, to me, they seem to be an extension of what the Norn believe. Where the Norn believe there are lots of spirits, they don't think there are spirits necessarily for everything, but the Kodan they just love spirits as far as I can see. But one day, Bear stood up and looked around him and saw that the spirits of the world were restless and chaotic. He could not understand the endless cycles of creation and destruction, and so Bear was the first creature to speak, and with his first words he asked Koda, "Why is this so?" And Koda was pleased and made this offer to the bear. "If you would watch and learn, then watch and learn, and you shall protect and guide the spirits of this world." And those who praised Koda and accepted this offer became the Kodan, and those who were not ready and did not wish to change remained as bears. So from this, I mean, this is obviously not an accurate portrayal of the history of Tyria, but we can see pretty quickly the Kodan seem to be a very old race, as in a race up there with the Seers, the Messart, the Dwarves. They were there before the gods came to Tyria and brought the humans and the Forgotten and so forth, which is quite interesting. This line where it talks about how Bear could not understand the endless cycles of creation and destruction, very interesting. I think it's talking about the Elder Dragons, how they wake up, destroy everything, go to sleep, and then life comes back, is created once again, and these cycles just continuously keep happening. Very, very interesting. So they do seem quite integral, and they do definitely tie in to the main plot of Guild Wars 2, which is about fighting the Elder Dragons. Really cool. The Kodan venerate Koda the founder above all else. They believe that all beings are fated to come back again and again, but each time reborn as members of the same race. It's a sort of spiritual purity maintained throughout reincarnations. Humans come back as humans, Char return as Char, Kodan come back as Kodan. Only when you are greatly enlightened do you advance, and are reincarnated as a member of the next race in the balance. Of course, the Kodan believe they are the most spiritually enlightened race in the world, and that at the top of this reincarnative food chain, it is their duty to watch over the world, judge others, and maintain the balance, by force if necessary. So you'll see with a lot of the new races in Guild Wars 2, where ArenaNet have put so much thought into what the races believe and how they're also very distinct, they tend to take some of the most prominent things we've seen in the real world with real cultures. So yes, this does sound very similar to Buddhism, but I think later on in the blog post it goes to point out how it's quite distinct from that. They believe that the Kodan are the only ones who understand this balance, a word that they often use when justifying their actions, and that it is their holy purpose to maintain it, even if it means fighting or killing. Although a member of an individual race won't be summarily judged according to their race's general activities, the Kodan do approach other races with a certain amount of expectant anticipation. They have already begun to judge the people of the southern land, which now they've come to, as they believe that Koda would wish them to do. There is a debate among the Kodan shamans, known as voices, as to the fate of the dwarves. Did the dwarves somehow skip ahead and proceed directly to enlightenment, or did they fall out at the bottom and destroy themselves? Either way, they have been removed from the world. See, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do these blog posts during the Dungeon series, because obviously it has spoilers about the end of Eye of the North. So here, I love how... One of the things I love most that these blog posts go into is how races view the other races. I just love this idea of the Kodan wondering about this extinct race of dwarves and what happened to them, and them sort of attributing the dwarven ascension, shall we say, to their own beliefs. It's really, really cool. I love it. And I wonder how much that's actually going to affect the storyline later on, if at all. It'll be interesting if it does. I mean, that would be quite interesting to see. The other thing, obviously, you might have heard about with the beliefs here. I remember when this blog post came out, a lot of people were sort of discussing the possibility that the Kodan, just to lay this down on the line, they're like an NPC race. They're not necessarily against us at the moment. But can you kind of see how it seems like maybe they'll fall out of our good graces quite easily? Like these people who have come down from the northern regions that we've never seen, and they believe it's their supreme right to judge all of the other races as to whether they're as enlightened as themselves. And there's that particularly worrying line, it says there, that they're willing to sort of impose their own beliefs on other people by force if necessary to maintain the balance of watching over the world. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? I mean, if they deem the cycle of destruction and creation as a natural part of the balance of Tyria, then they might be annoyed when we start trying to take out the Elder Dragons, if you think about it. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised about that. There is a fair bit of depth with them. The next section describes lost tribes of the Kodan. This will probably be the last section we get for this video, so let's read. Over the seasons, the Kodan spread and multiplied across the land. Their journeys were bounded only by the sea, and everywhere they went, they brought balance to the spirits. They watched and they learned and they hunted, and so served the will of Koda. Now, all things grow and all things die. Even the glacier is not unchanging. And there came to be a great storm that did not end, though month after month and season after season passed. And the great seers, the voices of the Kodan, said it was time to wait and to watch and to learn. With their thick white fur, the Kodan would be safe, but waiting was not easy, for there was little to hunt in the storm. And in the great halls, the rumbling bellies echoed like the roaring of bears. And there was the claw without a voice, a hunter without the Kodan who refused to stay. He said that fur or no fur, storm or no storm, a hunter must hunt. And he led many others with him into the storm to seek hunting grounds in the lands to the far south, where the snow was light. And they were never seen again. The Kodan do not claim any connection or relationship to the Norn race, but some voices choose to interpret early stories of a lost group of Kodan as an explanation of the origin of the Norn. If this is true, they argue then the Norn are failed Kodan who have forgotten their place as judges and protectors of the balance, and that is why their true bear form has been replaced with a fragile, furless state. Because of this pressure from this shaman, the Kodan often treat the Norn as spiritual failures, possibly even a race moving backwards in the cycle of life, towards primitivism and destruction, and that even as the dwarves before them, if this is true, the Norn are a race on the edge of extinction. This is crazy as well. Like we all thought when we were first seeing these trailers that sort of the Norn and the Kodan were all buddy, and I'm assuming, you know, they're at least neutral on terms with one another, but the Kodan really seem to view the Norn quite lowly. I remember so many people were like, oh, I'm rolling Norn, I really don't like the Kodan, they're assholes. It's quite interesting though, isn't it? Maybe they are somewhat related, the Kodan and the Norn. Like maybe the Norn are sort of a cross between Kodan and human. Quite interesting. I'll talk more about this in the next video though, guys. That's probably about enough here. So what I'm going to do is cut it out to a bit of live recording I did at the end of the dungeon with us fighting the boss and having a bit of fun there at the end. Thanks very much to everyone who came. Again, really do want to thank you. And once again, if you guys want to be in any of these videos, also if you've got any ideas about the format of how this is going, please let me know. But if you want to be in any of these videos every single weekend for the next 2 months at 6 o'clock GMT, I'll be there at Doomlore Shrine in just the American 1 district. If you want to come along, just come say hi to me. I'm sure there won't be many people coming along in a few weeks, so you've always got the opportunity to come along. Really, I don't care who comes, just bring someone who can do damage, and you'll probably be in the team. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll cut it out to me about to fight the boss. Okay, so here we are, we're at the bottom of the Catacombs of Kathandrax, we're just coming up to the boss room here. I decided that it would be pretty cool to do some live commentary, at least for the very end, so yeah, apparently this dwarven weapon, it's pretty close by now, but we've got a boss to kill. What would a dungeon be without a boss, right? So as I said, when we were doing main Eye of the North stuff, and we had that huge fight with the heart of the Shiver Peak, in the heart of the Shiver Peaks, well, there are boss fights just like that at the end of every dungeon. So let's Let's try this one out. Let me quickly speak to the beacon of Drachna to get some points. So the counter on the beacon's base glows and shimmers, revealing the number 78. The light flickers and your spirit is once again renewed. I found that so hilarious at the idea that just a number appears in those beacons, but whatever. Alright, so here we go. Is everybody ready? Alright, so let's go. We were being sieged by that damn worm, but here we go. This is the boss room, and in the back there, you'll see Ilsunder, Lord of Fire. This is a pretty cool room. Like I said in the dungeons, some of us were talking about this earlier as we were going through. It's really annoying how they reuse a lot of assets in the game. Well, this is one room that's actually perfectly and 100% unique. You only find this room right at the bottom of this dungeon with Ilsunder here, and it's a really cool boss fight. It's really, it's maybe my third favourite at the end of a dungeon. It's pretty cool. So when we attack him and engage him, you'll see he summons a giant fireball. There are actually two of these freaking things. There you go, there's the other one, that will run people over instantly if they're in the way there. It just killed a Gaki and someone else, which is absolutely hilarious. We need to try and fight him, and they'll both start circling around the room, one on the inside and one on the outside, so you've got to be careful and try and figure out how to break through. This guy does like 4 times the amount of damage that most things do, so he does a ridiculous amount of damage. We're actually pretty powerful. We've done really well in this dungeon. I'm really happy with what happened, but here we go. So the ball's coming back, got to be careful. The other one's rolling in the other direction. Yeah, we keep knocking this guy down. He's got a lot of really cool skills. Like one skill, he'll like summon a bomb into your hand. You see that firebomb skill, and if you don't drop it, it will blow up and basically insta kill you, if I remember correctly, which is really cool. He's just got so many awesome spells. I may as well actually use Pain Inverter on him there, and hopefully that'll do some damage. He's got Shield of Fire, just some very awesome stuff, but our team's really powerful, so we've just basically kicked his ass. When you're playing with henchmen, this is really hard because like the balls are pretty much guaranteed to hit him, which is hilarious. But yeah, we're almost done. Pickles, you have almost got it. We've got this pet, this black mower called Pickles that someone's named, which is hilarious. Brilliant name. He's kind of been the mascot for this dungeon run. Let's just kill him, please, for the love of God. He's almost... Oh no, he killed me right at the end. Oh, how did he do that? I'm the only one dead at the end of the dungeon. Oh no, there we go. Thank you for bringing me up. Oh my god. So there you go, that's the end of the dungeon. As with all dungeons, this will spawn a chest for us, the chest of Kathandrax, where you can get some cool weapons. I'm sure some of us will get like a Cylinder's actual weapon here. But we can pick this up, and inside we'll find this hammer of Kathandrax. This is the quest item, and we'll get an ivory hammer as well ourselves. But other people will get greens here. Well, it's just a matter of time for us to see. These hammers, actually an interesting trick you can do for the survivor title. You can keep running this dungeon and collecting the hammers, and then you can sell the hammers to people, and they can instantly cash in the quest reward, which will basically get them the survivor title 100% guaranteed, because they don't have to fight anything. They just keep gaining experience. The only drawback, of course, is that it costs a lot of money to buy the hammers. But there you go, we get a countdown timer for our team being victorious. I'll try and resign out and see what happens. And see if everyone resigns. Oh, we got some hidden treasure over here as well, actually. May as well grab this. But yeah, generally it was just very... Oh, we got a steel ingot, that's not too bad. It's just generally... This is really cool. Look at these things. Just like some cages over here. Very weird. Yeah, very cool. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I was a little bit worried, you know, the teams might suck or something. But still went brilliant, really well. There were a few wipes in a few places, but to be honest, this dungeon is really one of the harder ones. It's got a lot of AoE damage and stuff in it. So, very cool. Hopefully everyone will resign out. I might as well try and read out this book while we're at it. See, now page 1's filled in. Catacombs of Kathandrax. Remnants of the Even Vanguard survived in the Catacombs of Kathandrax. While on a mission to recover a legendary weapon, they were ambushed by overwhelming Char forces. Captain Langmark made it clear to her troops recovering Kathandrax's crusher was of the utmost importance. Broken and wary, the remaining vanguard found little solace, for they found the caves infested with fire elementals and other terrible creatures. Their numbers grew few. They no longer had the strength to reach the artifact, because its immense power would surely aid the Even Vanguard in the ongoing battle against the Char. We had no choice but to help them retrieve it. Kathandrax's crusher was hidden deep beneath the raging fires of Saknoth Valley, protected by a fiery elemental lord. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I say, maybe the fires down here are the reason why there's so much fire up above. But yeah, so here we go. This is everybody. Let's all wave. Hold on. Here we go. 2, 1. Hey, there we go. So thanks very much for coming on the run, guys. In a minute, I'll show you the quest reward at the end of the dungeon, and that'll be the end of this first episode in our new dungeon series. So there we go, it'll take us back out into Saknoth Valley, where we can speak with Swithin Nye, who says, "You found it, Kathandrax's crusher. I'll assign one of my men to return it to Captain Langmar immediately. Your victory here will not be forgotten, Matt. I will personally make sure that Langmar knows who is responsible for retrieving this most important artifact." There you go, you hand it over to him, and that's about it. So, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. See you later, everybody.